Yeah, no, I'm excited. I think I got my phone muted. If not, it doesn't. I turned it off. I never really turn my phone off. Is that something you do in relationships?
Turn it off?
No, like the sound. Like, do you mute your ringtone, or are you a person that doesn't like not even the ringtone? Do you just mute the all of the sounds off your phone? So like even texts, phone calls, voicemails, emails, none of it makes a noise.
Uh nah, I don't have no noise. I got vibration, everything.
Okay, so I know that sounds weird to say. So you're a vibrator person. Because
Ah,
there are people like that, you know what I'm saying? But I also think the deeper conversation is the trauma involved in like of dating people before who may or may not have cheated, or you may have, you know what I'm saying? You may have been the one caught cheating, to where as though people, there's certain weird rules when I was out on the dating scene in the last however many years, like when it became like
nah, in the 2000s.
right in the 2000s, but the 2010s actually. So, but like, because the whole thing about leaving your phone face up or face down, um, they say that, I was taught, like just common courtesy would be when you're out with someone, if your phone's not in your pocket, you keep it on the table, put it face down, so that way you don't see it and it doesn't bother you if somebody happens to call or whatever, right? The second thing was also people having their notification sounds on or off, right? And I always thought that was weird because I was like, what the fuck is the point of having the sounds if you're not going to use them, right? Like, I don't think it has anything to do with necessarily your significant other trying to hide something, not you wanting to hear when their phone rings, but more or less they, I don't know. I just always thought that was weird because it's like if you're, especially once you're grown, but I think people just are traumatized from past relationships that they don't know how to deal with it. Because I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
Well, I think it's how people behave. Like if you put your phone down and just do what you do, then the phone don't matter. If
Right,
you put your phone down, you still keep picking it up and checking it and checking it and checking it. Like what's going on? You got it.
right,
And if you waiting for somebody to do something, then get that bitch face up. And when it ring or jiggle, pick it the fuck up quick and handle your business. It's really how. Like I noticed my ex doing that, putting his phone. We never held our phones, but then he started putting it down. He'd pick it up and then like really be into some type of message
right,
and then put it back. And I'm like, all right, fuck is. Or he'd stop and he'd like hit whoever the fuck back, and I'm like, who needs to get like hit back right now?
right.
Who's that?
Yeah, that makes
It's like
sense
2 a.m.
too.
Boo. It's 2 a.m. Boo. We got the red light on. What's
Oh yeah, you can't be wilding at 2 a.m.
that? Who needs to get hit back right now?
Yeah, well, nobody honestly. Like two
So
a.m.
I'd be
That's
like,
the
So he wasn't moving. He wasn't handling the phone differently, but
right.
it was his interaction with the phone.
Ah, I can see that.
And you ain't the type to have like 8,000. You ain't got like your kids don't call you. You ain't got like 5,000 homeboys.
Damn, that's fucked up.
Nah, he didn't.
I
He
know, but
didn't.
still, you say it like that. Like, your kids don't call you, you ain't got no friends. They can sit there mad depressed now.
Dead
Damn,
ass.
you right, yo. I ain't got no friends and shit. Niggas don't
Yeah,
even
you
fuck
got
with me,
hoes.
yo.
You got hoes. You got nigga. You got what that bitch got to say? Who that? Which one of your bitches? And I started saying that. Like, which one of your bitches is that?
See that
Oh
be
no
starting
no no. That's
fights.
just my cousin. Yeah, no, stop.
Yeah, but no, I'm one of those people too. Like, I believe between 9 and 5, and that's like for business shit, right? And then if I know you like personally, don't call my phone after 9 o'clock at night.
Everybody knows that.
No, people don't. Well, I mean now, but sometimes when you like, especially when you new people, like let's say you meet somebody like, oh yeah, let's do business, let's start a podcast or whatever, right?
Oh, them
Yeah,
niggas call anytime.
right. Motherfuckers don't be
Like,
having a care in the world for you or your life. You're like, yo, bro, I'm
it's
sleeping.
4 a.m.
Yeah, but I got
Yep.
this crazy idea right now. Like, yo, this shit's just it's hot. It's like, yo, you could have fucking put this in an email, my nigga.
Sure
Like,
could.
yeah, or even
My inbox
text.
is always open. Text me. Text
Yeah.
me.
Like, because with text message, like at a certain point, like if your number isn't important, that shit ain't coming through. Like my shit be all like once I like after 9 o'clock, even my phone shut down because it's like you need to have your body kind of programmed that way, or else you'll just be like straight on the damn thing all the time.
And for two niggas with ADHD, you got.
Mm-hmm.
I had my phone be doing its own thing, so it did have the shutdown thing,
Right.
and then I started missing. I started missing the Taurus because
Mm.
he's hitting me at like 11:30.
Right. Right.
Like you sleep. If I felt it vibrate, I'd pick it up, but I didn't realize there's a button on the side of the iPhone that does it.
Yeah.
That shuts
The
everything.
little
I didn't
the
realize
little
that, so I had
switch.
to touch the button. Yeah, I'm just touching the button, and I was like, well,
Oh
my phone
man,
don't ring. Why
that's
my
funny.
phone?
That is funny. Yep, I see it, and here we go.
You know why we crack babies? Because we born in the 80s, that ADHD crazy.
All right, we're here. We are here, loud and clear. This is Potting Through Trauma. I'm your host, Fat Liver Jones, and she
I
is,
am Tracy Renee Jones.
and we are the Joneses. Ooh, we're not really
Not
related though.
related.
All right, I gotta remember what my sounds are over here. But so here we are. This is our first episode of this podcast that we're going to do. We're going to try to have real conversations surrounding trauma. You know, the just everyday shit though, right? Like things that we go through, the reason that they are this way, because it all ties into some sort of trauma, right?
Yeah, yeah. Everybody got their own ism, whether they know it or not.
Yeah, and shit, a lot of us have it. So this also sparked out of just the way that Tracy and I interact, our conversations. Like when we're on the phone, like we just be chatting. Like I turn into a whole chatty patty when I'm with her, and it's not a bad thing. But a lot of times it'd be real like in depth conversations, and before you know it, by the time we get off the phone, we don't have like 7 revelations, and we're like, oh shit, this is why
But
this
the shit be
happened.
funny.
Yeah,
Like the
it
shit
do.
be funny
It'd
because
be
it's like, oh
hilarious.
shit, that was like that the whole time. I just noticed.
Yeah, I just never tied the two together. Like, holy shit. That's why I love coffee, because I'm an alcoholic. Mind fuck.
Oh, that goes together.
Yeah. Well, I learned that in, where was that? So when I lived in Vermont, there was one of the roads I lived on. I used to live on a street called Mad Tom Road, right?
Oh,
And
perfect for you.
yeah, exactly, right. And at the bottom of Mad Tom Road, there was this it's called the Wilson House. And the Wilson House was founded by, I think is Bob Wilson or Bill Wilson. I forget the two, but it's the first Alcoholics Anonymous meeting session in the United States, I guess. Like it's a historical site. It's on like the Historical Society in East Dorset. And it's been there, and there's always tons of people out there. But the one thing I learned is like the thing about alcoholics or any sort of addict for that part, there's always something, right? So with alcoholics, it's the drink, right? It's you replace it. So caffeine and alcohol are like synonymous. They're both stimulants, right? And you get the same type of high from a coffee that you would get from social drinking or whatever, or even with drugs. But for the most part, like with drug addicts, it's usually like sugar or something. Like the caffeine replaces the stimulant of the alcohol. It's just the endorphin or whatever the hell that fucking neurological drug is that your body produces when it's happy. So hence the reason I have a cup of coffee right here, right now. We got this Nespresso maker. You ever heard of that thing?
Which one, the Keurig?
No. This is like Keurig 2.0. It's called the Nespresso maker. So like, I believe.
Yes, sir. My boss had an espresso that was ordered specifically for him because espresso.
Yeah, but this thing is amazing. So it's like a Keurig. It's got these little pods. And
the pods only come from the Nespresso company.
Right. Yeah, you can't even.
I
Yeah,
remember.
the shit's crazy. So they got an espresso store out here in the mall. And we went and spent like, I think it was crazy, something like $40 for like 50 of these little things or whatever. It's insane, but the coffee's amazing. It tastes really good. Like I prefer it over the Keurig, and this is probably like our 8th coffee making contraption in this house. I think we've had everything except a percolator. So I have my own espresso maker. It's like a 12 bar, but I don't use it every day because it's a lot of work just to make one espresso. So on Sundays is the day I make my wife a little espresso drink. She has a latte, and I dress it all up nice and foam the milk. I know how to froth, which is an art too. But this thing, the coffee tastes so much better. It's like it's super smooth and silky. It's like damn, coffee actually really stepped it up a notch. So I love the Nespresso
It
maker.
be some shit though.
Yeah,
But coffee's like that's a whole culture.
yeah, it is.
Where it comes from and how you make it and like you said the frothing and the whipping of it and
Yeah.
it's a lot. I just want some what's that Sanka? I just want some Sanka.
Ugh,
Sanka and some
gross.
hot water. That's all I need.
All right, so we're going to dive into it, but before we dive into it, I want to tell you. So there's one funny thing about my time in the behavioral health unit, aka the psych ward, right? So this was about 6 years ago because I just celebrated 6 years of life, right? And when I was there, everybody knew I liked coffee so much that everybody would give me their coffee. So we would have coffee in the morning with breakfast or whatever. And it was the crazy part, it was a decaf coffee because apparently in the psych wards you cannot have caffeine. It's like, what the fuck type of shit is this? But I get it. No drugs, period. So I would still just drink the coffee because it was the one thing that even though it was decaffeinated, it still gave me a sense of normalcy, right? To where it's like I feel like I'm home or I'm just relaxing. I'm not thinking about the fact that I'm trapped in these fucking four walls. So every morning, everybody, like we all just bonded off of like coffee and trauma. Everybody's like, oh, here, Anthony, you got my coffee. I was like, all right, I'll take it, and yeah, so that was funny. Everybody gave me their coffee.
That's like getting the snacks in the jail.
Yeah, I was just about to tie that together too. I was just thinking about that.
They
I was
love.
like,
They
holy
showing
shit,
you love.
that's crazy. I was the man up in the psych ward, son.
I ran the ward.
I ran that shit. But all right, so the way we're going to start this podcast every episode is we're going to do a mental health check-in where Tracy and myself, we go over maybe some personal issues that we're having, maybe some goals, accomplishments that we're going through at the moment. So Tracy, do you want to start off with a mental health check-in?
I'm having a mental health day.
Okay.
I had to take a day off.
Ooh.
Because work is too much.
I applaud that. Mental health days are very important.
And it's wild that, like, that's a joke. Like, first it was like, you need to have, like, a real reason. And is me going crazy not a real fucking reason? Is me wanting to, like, commit homicide in here not a real reason for me to go home and, like, gather myself?
Right.
So then it became a mental health day. Like, you can have a mental health day. So it's like a suggestion.
Yep.
But it's part of your health. Your mental health is part of your health. So if I feel like I gotta break my leg to take a day off, to take a sick day, I would take a day off because I just need to. I got to regroup.
Right.
And that's what I'm doing today. I got plans to fix it. I got to keep reminding myself not to go off the cliff with it.
Right.
Because anything will trigger you. When you got triggers, anything will trigger you.
That's a fact.
And it's only a check. It's not like it's the only check out here.
This is true.
I heard checks are scarce though, but it's not like it's the only check out here.
Right.
Sure.
I mean, always where there's a will, there's always a way.
Yeah, there's welfare. There's DoorDash.
Things of
this
listen.
nature.
Welfare, we used to be embarrassed by that shit as kids, but now it's like, as an adult, I would take some welfare. Like right now, even with the money I make at work. Yeah,
You stupid. Everybody want food stamps. Food stamps is the hot shit.
Listen, I'll take a little bit. That's all I want. I don't want the cash. Just give me the food stamps. Like, fuck
Everybody want food stamps. They like,
because food is fucking expensive.
But the food stamps right there. You remember when food stamps was paper?
Yeah, they came in a book.
Out like,
yeah, you used to go to the store ripping off. How much is that? $2. All right, here you go.
But you're not got a food stamps in your pocket.
What? Listen, man. That's how I got some of my first girlfriends bought them a sandwich. You want a sandwich, girl? Let's go get a sandwich.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not hustling with you a sandwich daddy?
I love sandwiches.
You was a sandwich daddy? I got sandwiches.
Probably. Listen, you buy a girl the turkey and cheese joint. Oh man, with the shredded lettuce. Now that I know how to shred lettuce, I be making my own little poppy sandwich, every now and then.
Are you? Wait.
I
What's that
love a
called?
sandwich. That's a comfort food. I don't know. That might be tied to some sort of trauma. We'll probably figure it out throughout the duration of this like entire podcast journey. But I definitely will eat a sandwich and be totally happy. Like it got to be
What's
a
that
good
called?
sandwich though.
What's that called? You take somebody's culture.
Appropriating.
You appropriate. Oh, you appropriating Poppy, yo.
But did they even come up with the sandwich? Who owned who created the sandwich?
You appropriating Poppy. I don't care.
Oh, with the poppy sandwich.
Yeah, you going home. You going all when you're in your like upscale gentrified neighborhood.
Yeah,
And make
but
Poppy sandwiches.
that's not fair.
That's funny,
That's
right?
totally
That's
not
funny.
fair. It is funny, but that ain't fair. Fuck that. I'm not an appropriator. I never understood that whole.
In your mansion, you sitting in your mansion in
Yeah.
a fucking rich ass neighborhood drinking Mad Dog. Like,
My little ass, my tight ass, drinking Mad Dog. Oh, gross. You see the kids just fucking rediscovered that. They rediscovered Mad Dog 2020 and Teleport.
Cisco, what the hell is a teleport?
Teleport, the port wine.
Oh, Taylor. I thought you said teleport. I was
Oh,
like, yo,
Taylor
that
Port.
sounds
Excuse
dope.
me. I got it.
Teleport, word.
Taylor
I'm drunk
Port.
as fucking 14. Teleport me somewhere.
Look at you. Nah, the kids are bringing the shit back, or they're on like social media being all happy, like, yo, y'all seen this? Y'all see that? Like, these fucking kids are crazy.
You better get into this bottle of motherfucking Brass Monkey for $2.50, and you and your 8 friends can all get fucked up tonight.
Listen, but you know what? I do respect it because a lot of that's how like a lot of us that got into drinking. You start with some
That's how
like
we
weird
started our
shit.
alcoholic journey.
Yeah. So who am I to fuck up tradition, right? Like,
Let the kids learn.
yeah, let them
play.
do them. I ain't mad at them. How am I doing? I'm all right. Actually, today's actually a good day for me. I turned 40 this month, so I've been like just rediscovering everything about myself. I went for my yearly checkup and shit, and I was sitting there talking to the doctor. I found out my blood type. Oh, a round of applause for me.
Whoa.
Do you know your blood type?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I always ask people that just as like a conversation starter, and like nobody ever knows. Most people don't know their blood type. I'm not gonna say everybody. I've met a few people that know their blood type, and I thought it was very interesting. And every time I went to the doctor, even for the past like 3 years, I've been wanting to do this, but I never got around because I would always go and forget by the time I get there. Because the doctor's so cool. We're talking about everything else other than the reality of it. And I never. So this time I was like, look, doc, I need to know my blood type. It was like, that's the one thing. It's like, all right, cool. And the funny thing is, he doesn't know his blood type. I said, look at that. My doctor don't know his blood type. Yeah. But he's cool as shit. He was like, we made a little marriage joke. He was like, but I don't know my wife's birthday. I was like, yeah, that's probably more important than your blood type. So I ain't mad at you on that one. Like, if you can't remember that, I ain't gonna hold you, doc. But yeah, so I'm feeling good about that. Life's good. I got some new couches. They were delivered today.
You got new couches.
Yeah.
They flew them in.
Yeah, grown man shit. They were supposed to come next week, but then they texted and was like, oh, couches showed up early. I was like, oh, shit, all right, cool. And so they were like, all right, we're going to the living room. Because I was like, I'm off on Thursday. So just drop by on the Thursday, and they was like, all right, cool. But I had mad appointments set up for today, right? And so what I did was I like rescheduled everything. I even scheduled my haircut for later in the day. So that way, if they don't come till later, at least my wife would be here. But these motherfuckers showed up at 7:30 this morning.
Don't that be some shit where
I was
your door
mad
ring,
as
you be like, yo,
fuck.
what the fuck, who that? And the motherfucker standing here looking all impatient with like
Yeah.
mad boxes. And
Yo.
you're like, oh, he ain't ready yet. Like,
Yo, the shit was so crazy. The phone ring. My wife's like, baby, they're going to be there in 5 minutes. I'm like, what? It was like, I'm looking at the phone. I'm like, 7:15. Like, who the fuck? Like, what time do they start working? Like,
disrespectful. I think they run their route and go and leave.
they probably do. Which, look, I ain't mad at that. Listen, they came in, they put the shit together. It looks nice. I went right back to bed afterwards, so I wasn't really that upset, other than the fact that it's my day off, and I was like, oh, and I was getting some good sleep too. You know when you get that good sleep to where as though you wake up for a second, but you close your eyes and you feel your body getting that warm again. You're like, yeah. Then I was like, fuck, I got to get up. So here we go. That's Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm actually doing
You
pretty
got
good
some.
today. I'm pretty
You learn a
pretty cool.
bunch, yo. Look at
Yeah,
you.
growing up, man. I'm maturing out here. So, all right, moving along. Let's go into our tweet of the week. This is something I want to try to do, so to where as though we can also engage with the social media world out there, other than the people, the bookworms like you and myself who love to listen to podcasts or audiobooks or whatever it is. But we want to try to bring in all cultures of this diaspora. Did I use that word right? I don't
Yes,
think so.
you did.
Okay, cool. Well, either way, this is our way of at least another form of mental health checking, because fucking social media will drive some of y'all up a wall. And while I sit back and love watching a train wreck, I really do be sometimes enjoying the shit, like on like a personal level, like, damn, this motherfucker crashing out, but fuck it, pass the popcorn. Like, so, but this one actually wasn't a crash out. This was pretty interesting. It was a engagement between Tracy and myself the other day, which I found so weird, and we both were like cracking up over it. But it was a tweet, and it was one of those, basically a call and responses where somebody says something and you respond out, and it creates a conversation. So it says, "Fellas, what's a sign and don't say Taurus?" So apparently whoever said that was a Taurus, which I already related with them there. And then it goes, "I said she's right 50 times and she's still talking. What sign is she?" You know what I said? Capricorn.
And that's where you fucked up.
Yeah, because lo and behold, who's a Capricorn?
That's where you fucked up. But wasn't I on your timeline talking crazy
Yeah,
about Taurus? I was like,
yeah,
nah, this Taurus, this
yeah,
Taurus. That's his code name. And you was like,
yeah. I was
hey,
like, hold
hey,
up, man.
hey,
Like, what the fuck is
hey.
going on here? Like, what's with all the Taurus hate? And you're like, nah. Then you start running it down, and then I think at that moment I tweeted you back like, yo, you really do fucking know me. Because you was like, nah, this nigga act like you. He's, I was like, and I wanted to tweet back, nah, that ain't true. Then I was like, hold up, actually, I did do that at one point. That is me. You fucking know me. Like, it actually blew my mind that somebody really, like, knows me to a T and understands me. I guess that's, like, weird for me, but.
Because I think everybody, I don't know. I pay attention to people. People pay attention to me. But people
Mm-hmm.
don't often read you. They don't often be like, nah, because you do, but unless it's in like an argument. And
Right.
of course, you're going to be like, no, I don't, because you're trying to have an argument. As opposed to being like, hey, baby, you know what? One thing I noticed about you, that anytime I make a suggestion, you always say no. And then you
Yep.
turn right around and say the same thing. And I have to pretend like it's your idea. Because who does that? You know what I'm saying? Like the truth comes out
Fucking
when you be throwing
psychos.
flames at each other.
Yep.
Yeah. You breaking furniture or talking crazy to each other after a couple of drinks, and that's not when you're listening. But to have somebody like casually be like, "Nah, girl."
Right. I was just about to say that too. Like, most of us don't want to hear when you're telling us something negative. It's like, you don't want to hear it. It's like, especially when it's in the heat of a moment. But if it's like just a normal general comparison, like it ain't got nothing to do with you, but I'm gonna use you as a reference, and you're like kind of on the outside looking in at yourself, like, damn, I am kind of a piece of work. But listen, it is what it is when
You
you
got what you got.
yeah,
Yeah, you got cap. But you could call me and be like, "Yo,
yeah,
let me tell you about this," and I'll be like, "Well, yeah, yeah."
yeah,
Or I can tell you how a Capricorn feel about the situation.
yep,
Like
exactly. Give me
I get this nigga from listening to you.
yeah, and so shit. Listen, there's some shit. But I mean, we was talking earlier. There was some shit that I was just going off about, and you were just laughing because it's like, it's it is funny because it's like and I don't mean any harm when I talk. I guess just like I don't know. Really, it's crazy because I don't think it be sounding brutal when I say it, like from my point of view. But apparently, sometimes I might say shit to people and it just sounds brutal, and I'm like, I don't really get it. Maybe people are mad sensitive, especially some of these motherfuckers I got to manage at work. Like, be like, I don't even say nothing to y'all, but apparently, when whatever I do say sounds pretty brash, and I had to think back sometimes when I say something. It was like, I still don't think that it's that bad, but who am I to tell somebody how to feel, right? Like,
I think that's a spectrum thing because we don't
mm,
really do the emotions that much. We do logic more.
right,
So you're using the best words for the thing, and
right,
other people be like, but like it's not what you said; it's how you said it.
Yeah, because
Once I learned that, I was like, okay, I had to say this. I gotta say her breast thing, but I can't just say her
no,
breast.
I was telling the motherfucker to use logic, right? Because the motherfucker accused me of doing something, and I was like, and I laughed. I was like, think about it. I was like, think logically for a second. Does that sound like? Then as I listened back, I was like, yeah, telling somebody to think logically and then holding your hand
Yo,
by your head, it's kind of wild. Like,
and tell them that they wrong because you stupid.
exactly. It's like, bruh, it's basic. Yeah, you basically just told them that they're stupid. It's like, use your fucking head for 2 seconds. Why would I do that? That doesn't benefit me. Like, it doesn't. But
Oh,
then I had to think about it, and I was like, all right, you know what? Like, and then that's when I told the motherfucker, listen, if I ever said something that made you feel away, I apologize. I'm sorry you feel that way.
oh,
It was like,
oh.
but then the motherfucker just couldn't
Wait,
help
wait, wait. I'm
himself.
sorry you feel that way. Oh,
Yeah,
oh, oh.
yeah,
Nah,
exactly.
that's the reverse. That's the reverse apology.
Yeah,
I
it
heard.
is.
Listen to me. I heard that's not how you do it. That's how I do it. But I
Right,
heard that's not how you do
right.
it
Well,
because
that's
you're still making their feelings about them and not something that you did.
exactly,
But
and,
nah, nigga,
and that's something
you
you
felt
learn in
that way.
management.
But you felt that way. I didn't
Right.
feel that way.
Like,
I'm sorry you felt that way. It's supposed to be like, I'm sorry I made you feel that way.
yeah,
That's what
it's
you're supposed
like,
to say.
yeah,
But I didn't
I
mean to make you
guess.
feel that way, so I can't.
Fuck
Come.
that. But still, whatever, man. People just don't, man, people mad sensitive and shit. Like, it's just words. Like, if I don't put my hands on you, you shouldn't let words really move you. You know what I'm saying? But I guess everybody ain't, witty like that to where as though they can use words.
Why you give a fuck what I say? Like what the fuck? Like
Yeah.
don't you got your own mind? Like
Hello. Shit.
uh, they not like us, baby. That's why
No.
we got the podcast, so y'all
Yeah.
can tune in
That's
and
right.
adjust. You
We
can
here.
adjust your dial and
Fucking right. What's your most engaged or controversial tweet of the week?
what was my tweet of the week? I had a couple of them.
Uh
I
oh.
had but no, I had. I'll leave that one for another time.
Nah, cause your
I had
timeline be crazy.
my timeline be nuts. I found a couple. A Georgia family was able to trace back their lineage to a village in Sierra Leone from a 5 sentence song.
Oh yeah, you did. You did show me that. That was pretty cool.
And the grandmother was around someone that heard her humming like a tune, and the person recognized the tune as something from their country,
Hmm.
but they no one knew the meaning of it. And she said she learned it from her grandmother,
Right.
and it was like a real simple song, and the guy traced it. No one knows where it came from exactly,
Right.
but it's like a nursery rhyme or just whatever. So they started tracing it, and they found that that song originated in a certain village in Sierra Leone.
Wow. Let's see if
So
I can pull it
your
up real quick.
grandmother, and she probably got it from her grandmother. Like that's generations of people picking up something in their family, and the person being able to trace it back to where it actually came from.
Right. That's like great grandma singing a song and it just gets passed down through generations and somehow somebody becomes a musician in the family and creates this song, but this song's been passed down from the slavery. Huh.
Hmm.
Very interesting. Um, why the fuck is this person calling me? I'm not at work today. I'm not doing
Oh,
that. And it's like I got my phone like plugged into the damn system too. I was like trying to see if I could find it, but we'll get better at this. When it comes to trying to incorporate sounds and audio from from whatever we're talking about. Sorry, I really had to. That call was important, but it's not important because I'm not at work, so I don't give a fuck. But I was wondering why the person's calling and waiting to see the voicemail pop up. You know, you got that voicemail where you can read it now.
oh, okay. There was a linguist studying Geechee Gully
Ah, the Geechee.
and heard the woman sing a song, and she didn't know where it came from. It had been passed down through generations in her family. The woman didn't know the meaning of the song, but the person studying it recognized it as being Mende, a language from his country.
Mm,
So later on, another person picked up the information that he had written down, and went to Sierra Leone with
ah,
ethnomuseologist, goodness, and attempted to trace the prevalence of the lyrics. And it ended up coming from a West African region of Sierra Leone,
Right.
and it came from a specific village.
Ah, yeah, I'm reading the yeah, so it happened on TikTok,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, everything be going down on TikTok. Yeah, it's a 3 minute video. I don't know if we want to play the whole thing or, I mean, 3 minutes. I don't know if you want to listen to it or not. But what do you think? Should we play it for the people?
Yeah, let's play for the people.
All right, let's see. Let's see if I can run this in here. Um,
Incidents that you think about a lot.
A Georgia family was able to use a
Can you hear it?
five-sentence song to trace their ancestry back to the exact village that their family came from in Sierra Leone. Let's get started and learn something new. We're going to go back to 1933, Savannah, Georgia, and there was a black linguist, Lorenzo Dow Turner, who met with an elderly Gullah Geechee woman named Amelia Dawley. While he was interviewing her, she started randomly singing a song. She didn't know the origin of it or the meaning of the words. She said it was just passed down through her ancestors. But a Sierra Leone student who heard the recording recognized the lyrics as Mende, a major language in Sierra Leone. Lorenzo Dow Turner published an English translation of the song in his 1949 book, Africanisms in the Gullah Dialect. Now, the recording sat idle for 15 years until an anthropologist, Joe Apala, used linguistic clues to connect the song to the country of Sierra Leone. Joe Apala, an ethnomusicologist and a Sierra Leone linguist, all got together as a research team, and the breakthrough came through when one of the researchers recognized a word from the song as a Mende dialect from southern Sierra Leone. They went from village to village playing this song to see any of the people or the elders remember this song, but unfortunately, they had no luck until they found a small village that wasn't even in the radius of potential matches. They found a small village and a woman named Bandu Jabati who astonished them by singing a nearly identical version of the song. Jabati revealed that the tune taught to her by her grandmother was originally a funeral elegy. As Jabati explained in a documentary, The Language You Cry In, her grandmother said that those who sing this song are my brothers and sisters. Given the similarities between the two songs, the researchers concluded that Dolly's ancestors hailed from this specific area of Sierra Leone. Amelia Dolly, the elderly Gullah Geechee woman that was recorded, had a daughter named Mary Moran, and Mary was also following this whole journey in research. The researchers reached out to Mary to share that discovery, and she immediately wanted to connect and go to Sierra Leone. But unfortunately, there was a civil war happening in 1991, and she wasn't able to go. But in 1997, she was finally able to go and reconnect with her ancestors.
Words cannot express. But we are so happy to find our roots. Yes. Okay.
Here's the origins of this song to a 10-year-old Sierra Leonean girl who was enslaved in the 1700s and was named Priscilla. Since this song has about 50 words, it's almost certainly the longest text in an African language that has been preserved by an African American family. A couple of years ago in an interview, Amelia Dolly's great nephew said, "I am no longer another person with a general origin. I now know who I am." I hope you learned something new, and here's the song.
She taught it to me. And it had a little beat to it. And I thought it was something to dance by, and I would dance by the song, not knowing it was a funeral hymn until I went to Sierra Leone, Africa, and learned that it was a funeral hymn. But when I was a little girl around 9 and 10, I would dance by it. But now I learned better since I knew it was a funeral. For it then, all she said, her grandmother tell her it was a I walk among a Cambali lily, Quamby, I walk among a Cambali lily, Quang. Has to really go see how you quender you, has to really go dwell in the quank, has to really go see how you bunga lily.
All right. Whoa, that was dope. Little education on the pod for you.
But that's so cute. She learned it from her grandmother at the age of 10.
Right.
And her ancestors were she was taken away at 10.
Mm.
So that must have comforted her
Right.
being stolen from her family to sing that song.
That's pretty cool. I am not gonna front. That was dope to even learn that. That song sounds familiar too. I can't,
It
or
does.
at least the
The language.
yeah, not, yeah, the language and the, I guess the cadence. The flow. It sounds familiar. Like you've heard it before. I'm sure we've all heard it, which is dope. That is dope to learn. Applause for that again. We're gonna try to educate y'all too. You know what I'm saying?
So that was something spoken and something musical that lasted 200 years.
So there's something to be said about the way music is in our culture anyway, like how prevalent it is and how like that is one way our people really express themselves through it, like just from clothing to lifestyle to everything. It's really tied into our ancestral shit.
Yeah, and that's I think we should protect it more. We should respect it more. Definitely learn it more.
That's where gatekeeping should be important.
Yes.
If there's ever going to be gatekeeping, because I've seen that conversation a lot, right, where people are like, oh, gatekeeping this, gatekeeping that, but I'm like, I say for instance, right, because most people think that for whatever their reason is, they either love or hate Eminem, right, and they're like, oh, he's a white dude, he's a guest, and blah blah blah. I was like, yeah, but you have to realize white privilege doesn't really work for him the same in hip hop as it does in the regular world. Right now, some people would be
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, but the white kids will buy his records." I was like, "Yeah, because he's dope. If he wasn't a dope rapper, he would. It doesn't matter what fucking color he is. That white shit isn't going to work. Like you really have to, in this game, to be as big as he is and as well accomplished as he is as an artist, and the amount of records sold. Whatever you think about him today." None of that trumps what he's been through. Like he came up in the trenches. He's rap battle with some of the grimiest, gutterest, like MCs of them all. Like, and a lot of your favorite rappers do praise him or give some sort of praise to him because of what he's been through. Like that takes a lot of fucking tenacity. So in that essence, if we gate kept more and made it to where as though shit like that was important, like you actually had to be dope, you actually had to have something of some sort of substance, like something to give back as far as your talent goes and whatever you're doing with the art, then yes, that should be like one of the gatekeeping rules. But motherfuckers will let anybody rap.
Anybody.
And it's like, once again, who am I to fuck up tradition? Like the gate's open. And also I'm older now to where as though the younger music doesn't really appeal to me. So what do we do with that?
I don't even know where music is going right now. It's just I'm like, who are these people? And I listen, and I love rap music. I love music, and just I can't because I don't, if I understand what you're saying, I'm still like why are you saying that? It's like
Yeah.
the wildest shit. And before people were talking about something back in the day, or they were talking about like situations,
Right.
and it was always crime ridden. But y'all niggas is really talking about on Tuesday night you was on the corner of Fifth and Lennox
Yeah.
and you pulled out a AK and you bust down three motherfuckers,
Yeah,
call them by name and
them
shit.
drill
Like, what are you
niggas,
doing?
them
Like,
drill
yeah,
niggas be
like, what are
wildin',
you
yo.
doing?
They be all on the track.
Motherfucker just sitting here taking notes and shit. Like some cop somewhere bopping his head
Yeah.
with a notepad, and then they just like type up some paperwork and just run you down.
Yeah, nah.
You gotta do better than that.
Yep.
But we still got the weird rap will probably be gone as soon as people outgrow it.
Yeah.
But we still got something from fucking Sierra Leone out here in Geechee Gully.
Right. Which is like the beginning of it all. Like we know that it all ties into something, which is goes into everybody being really connected more. But, whatever. That's a whole nother conversation, man. We'll get into probably later on in life.
I could do a story about that. I could do like a whole show about that if anybody wants to hear it. The Association of Rap Music from Africa.
Oh, all right. Well, leave that in the comments wherever you at. Let us know. Hit her up on social media at Tracy Renee Jones. If you want to, listen. I'd support the idea, but it got to be what the people want. And obviously, we got to see if the people want this. But everybody's so like connected into like understanding their trauma lately. I think is really. I don't want to say I think it's cool like in a trendy way, but I think it's cool in an educational way, to where as though a lot of us, can heal. Because like I was saying to you earlier when we were prepping for the show, the fact of how a lot of us were raised in the black community. Some of us, if you're, were born in the 80s, 70s, even the 60s, depending on your age group at this point. But at some point, you probably got an ass whooping. Not every black person, but
enough. It's common. It's
Yeah.
common enough. And then like, what the fuck is the description of an ass whooping? Like you hear people in their stories like, "Yo, furniture? She's beating you with furniture."
right.
Like a pop on the hand or a pop on your butt versus being kicked across the floor. Like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's what you said. That's the plantation slave mentality
Yep.
type of trauma. We
Yeah.
all got that. Like if you were raised anywhere in some black spaces, you got some slavery trauma because we
Yep.
didn't treat each other like this elsewhere, and other generations,
Yeah.
other cultures don't necessarily do some things that we do, and some of the things that we do may contribute to us not being as well as we could.
Exactly. And that's one thing that I realized just when doing the work on myself and trying to understand is like a lot of this shit is just passed down trauma that people never really talked about, never really dealt with. So it passes on through your kids. It's like, how do you deal with discipline? Well, this is how they used to do it. Whap. It's like, and I mean, if you think about like just the way people are from society, like at one point, like domestic violence had to be a law because for some reason, somebody was before that. It was just, you just did whatever you want. And then something happened to where it's, all right, you can't do this anymore. And people are out here probably 100 years old, like, yeah, you used to be able to slap your wife if she said something back to it's like, hold on, it just sounds crazy. But if you go back a couple hundred years, you'd be like, they was really out here wild.
Nah, baby, you go find you some red pill threads.
Oh, no, I'm
Because they
good.
regurgitating all. I know you don't know. Like it just slips on my timeline. It's the same concept. It's Make America Great Again includes a whole bunch of other shit. Like every law, every
Yeah.
law that we created to have people treated equally, which means like not someone is a child and somebody's a disciplinarian.
I
That
try to
includes
stay
a
out
lot of shit.
I try to stay out the gender wars. I don't like it. I really don't. Like black men and black women have been going at it for years, and it's just like when you see it play out on social media, and the fact that you can see like people's deepest, darkest thoughts, shit that they probably wouldn't even say to somebody, but they will type it up and stand on it. It's fucked up. It's like, I don't want to be involved in that because that's not a real conversation. That's that at this point, like almost like hate speech. Like you're really trying to start a fight. Like you're not even trying to have a conversation. You're just coming out the gate, guns blazing. Like fuck that. I got shots for everybody, and I don't like that shit.
The red pill
think it's
conversation
tacky.
be so casual that there's like threads going on that suggest men should be able to like slap women if they disrespect them, or that shit. Like, oh, if a woman want to fight a man, did she get what happened? If she want to fight a man, like she a man, like that's all weird. If you say she hit you and you hit her back because both of y'all are people, that's cool.
Right.
But the
I
fact
see
that
what
you
you're
say
saying.
because she wants to hit a man, let her act like she's a man, so it's something separate.
Yeah. Now we all know somebody that's very handsy. I got a friend of mine, and we grew up together. This motherfucker's just crazy. He didn't care. He would fight anybody, women, dude, grandma. Like this nigga just crazy. And I
And there's
always
some people
used to
like
tell
that.
him like, yeah. And it's crazy because I remember one time he got locked up, and his mom called me, like, well, that bitch wasn't hitting him, blah blah blah. I was like, yeah, but that still doesn't make it right. I was like,
But I could even get with if you hit him and he hit you back, then y'all cool.
Right.
Because you hit him, and I've seen plenty of dudes, they'll rear back their hand and they'll grandma slap you.
right,
Slap taste out your mouth. But you slapped him, he slapped you.
right,
And now you're done. The chick is usually like, yeah, because that
Right.
shit ain't feel good. It ain't feel good to him either. Not a nigga like you slap him, now he going like closed fist.
right. Like cock back like you in the
from way
ring.
the fuck back here and then keep on you like he boxing you.
Yeah.
That's not necessary.
That ain't
but-
funny.
I could even sign up for like, okay, you slap him, he slapped you back. You want okay, your turn. You want to slap him again?
Right,
Y'all doing
exactly.
slap for slap? No. Oh, you done?
It's
Okay.
like that that
It's over.
show. They got a whole like show about people being slapped. It's like a
It's a
slap off.
competition.
Yeah, it's weird as
Yes.
shit. Which brings me to our next segment of the show, our guilty pleasures. Right? Like so the older I get, the more I realize that I like certain shit. Like, right, you just know what you really like and what you don't like. And lately I've been liking to like escape, like just on some old like after work, after when I, especially at night when everybody else is asleep, just like venture off into a whole nother world, like try to understand shit. So my guilty pleasure lately has been loving hip hop. So don't judge, right? Listen, I found the first two seasons on like Netflix. And you know, a lot of that shit was shot up here in Jersey. So I'm like looking at it in Bergen County and I'm like, oh, I know where that's at. I know where that's at.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what kind of I fell into, right? And then I just like literally got wrapped up in the story to the point that I'm like, I think 3, 4 seasons in, right? And I'm so
Jimmy
wrapped.
gonna marry Chrissy. Is Chrissy gonna?
Nah, look, I'm way past that. That shit was dope though. The way that they did that, like I was feeling bad for her at one point because when it started, it was like they made Chrissy look like the bully, but she kind of was. But then by the end of it, you like, but she had a point. Like everybody that was like kind of
She's standing
foul,
on business. Yeah,
yeah,
she's standing on
she was
business.
like, nah, they foul. It's just weird to see women act that way. For me, like that when I see that, it kind of makes me cringe up a little bit because it's like that. And it's like they almost like turn into like little pit bulls the way they be standing when they about like, yo, put your arms down, like yo, this shit, and all of them do it. Every single
Yeah.
one of them do it when they like really, as they say, standing on business. They be bulking up. I was like, holy shit, this shit just doesn't look. And they be like, you be like, damn, she's cute, but then she start bulking up. You're like, nah, that ain't cute. But anyway, so I've gotten so into it that I can tell that the way that I can tell like it's all staged. I can tell how it's shot, like it's over what season. Like I've realized that they follow everybody at a particular point of the year. Like when you look at it, you're like, oh, you thinking they're just running around the city, everybody's just like, no, they shot this shit like months. It's like now that I can tell that how produced it isn't that dope, but I'm so sucked into it now that I'm like, I gotta see it all the way through. I have to. And it's dope to see like all of these artists now, like how they grew and like who they are today, whatever you think about them. It's kind of dope to see like the progression of people. So that's my guilty pleasure.
Well, I've been doing the same thing before the show. I always avoided YouTube because I was like, what the fuck is this? Because early YouTube, it was just people like blowing up balloons and tying them. It was a motherfucker like brushing the hair off their cat. It was a motherfucker sitting
It's
here like
mad
playing
weird shit.
instruments they can't play. It was just the most weird, like random.
People had a camera.
And fucking Max Ben told me to get on. He's like, nah, they're gonna pay people for making YouTube videos. And I was like, the fuck out of here. Nobody paying anybody. Here we go. So Max always be up on shit early. I hate that he left doing marketing and all that, but I did see it advance, but it still wasn't anything that would catch my attention because I don't watch TV in general.
Right.
So I'm not gonna sit here and just like watch. But I do like talk radio. I do like podcasts. I like listening to conversations because I wasn't raised with a TV, but we always had radio going, and my father would listen to um, conversations shows because they were older people, so their entertainment was always some type of like talk radio
Right.
show.
Long form conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was raised with that, like calling into the show, having your opinion, whatever else. So now that I'm saying it, I'm describing it again. What's online now is kind of a video version of a long form conversation.
Right.
So I've jumped into some sectors. I was watching a few people. They're doing pop culture. I can do some pop culture. Like I'm a Wendy Williams kid. I like a little
Yeah.
messy
Shout out
now
to
and again.
Wendy.
But I didn't realize it's baby, it's whole fucking sectors. I didn't know there was a sector. There's sectors of YouTube. I guess it's like neighborhoods or something, or
Yeah.
like clubs or something. And
Communities or I forget what it was called. Like, but yeah.
these are like before it was content creators, and it's like somebody in the room with like a backsplash and like a studio going on and some type of a format of production.
These motherfuckers got full on productions now.
Some people, what I'm finding now, these motherfuckers whip their phone out real quick, hop their ass on YouTube, and just start talking crazy.
Oh yeah.
And they talking crazy about people who are like across town. They're talking crazy about their own family.
Oh,
They're
they
talking
wildin'.
crazy like
They
they're
get,
about shit going on in the neighborhood, like you said, O Block, like the people like broadcasting about who did what last night in the trap,
but they're really
in the
taking that
Project
whole
Quad.
content over everything seriously. Like,
And motherfuckers is like but that's what I said. Like it's I think the comment section of YouTube are the children of the parents that used to yell at the TV set.
oh
You
damn,
wanted you wanted to be heard, and
that
you
was a
yelled
hot
at
take.
the
Hold on, you
TV.
gotta let that one breathe. Hold on, you said the kids
Of the
of the
parents
parents.
that would yell at the TV set.
Oh man, you got to
Argue
be a
with the
certain
TV
age to
set.
remember that. Gotta be.
Cause you got all these fucking feelings and emotions. You don't hop the fuck up and we walking in front of the TV. Can't nobody else see what's going
Oh
on.
yeah, you can
And you
get
just
ass
having a
whooped for
full
that.
ass conversation and debate with somebody who cannot hear you. So I see the comment section.
Yeah.
It be paragraphs. It be paragraphs. And I notice it's like y'all are really like going back and forth having a conversation. My ex, his dysfunctional ass. I noticed he like there's an alert in your YouTube channel.
Oh
And he's like,
yeah.
yeah, they commented back on my comment. And I was like, yeah. Over the course of like weeks and shit, I was like, oh, this is crazy. So now I see that. But now you got like some generic local person talking about some generic local shit. And then
Mm-hmm.
other people from the local neighborhood can come hit the link and jump their ass up there and talk about what the fuck ever and get heard. And I think that's the opportunity to make anybody feel like they some type of like a superstar.
Yeah.
They
All
got
you
the
need
mic.
is a little platform. All you
They
need
got
is a
the
little
mic.
platform. And
So
that
I've been
shit,
watching that. I've been
that's
watching that.
awesome. Look
I'm in
at
the
you.
Jaguar. I'm in the Jaguar right sector. It's
Oh man.
which ties back into mental health of our
Yeah.
podcast because
Listen.
homegirl needs all the pills.
Damn. All of them?
Just put it in the water supply. Just
Holy
pump it through the
shit.
water supply,
Give her an IV.
baby. Spray it in
Damn.
her room. Not even an IV. Just release it into
Aerosol.
the air.
Chemical warfare. Spread that shit like Rona out this bitch. All you need is 3 particles. It's done. It's over for you. Holy
I've
shit.
been watching it for like 2 years. And it's because it's a car crash. It's a meltdown.
Oh yeah.
It's all that. It's mental health. It's like the plot twist. Like who
Yep.
gonna call in? Oh, what you being her third baby daddy? Oh shit, where they get
Yeah.
him from? And he like, I just got out of prison 2 days ago. But I heard blah blah blah. My homeboy told
Oh
me
yeah,
on
nah, they be
Instagram.
wildin'.
And they click the link, baby. They click the link and
Yeah. Nah, listen, years ago when we was doing the other podcast, you told me to check out Tasha K. She is like still stuck into my algorithm. So every now and then her shit pop up. When that whole her Cardi thing was going on, that shit was wild.
she over there with 1.2 million people.
Yeah. And wilding too. Like just on some old, and it's like it's entertaining to watch, but at the same time too, a lot of the shit I don't really understand it sometimes because like you said, it gets real personal, and then people start getting, sued and shit. You're like, hold up, I thought it was just, but nah, they be so called standing on business. But yeah, nah, Jaguar, right? Is that what it is? The sister, right? The one that's, as they say, crashing out.
Yes.
She's wilding, but she been wilding
Every
for
day.
some years.
Every day.
But like for years, and then she was like, I remember at one point in time she was like homeless or something, and she was staying in hotels with her.
Still is.
Oh, so she's still out here crowdsourcing her fucking content.
Yep.
That's crazy.
And that's a whole sector of people who are just like fan funding.
Yeah.
And they just talking, oh yeah, today I walked my dog and I need to go to the store and get cat food. And
Oh yeah, the
I was
vloggers.
hoping to get my hair done. And oh, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, I appreciate you and love and light and love. And just baby, it's a grift out this bitch.
Yeah, it is. I gotta figure out
That's
my
okay.
hustle.
We grifting too. We grifting. Don't leave us behind.
Oh
We grifting
yeah,
too.
fuck it. We out here. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this. This is where we have our full on topic of the pod, like what our real meat and potatoes of it is, what's really something that we feel like we need to have a real conversation about. amongst our people, our peers, whatever your community is, whatever your religion is, your background is, if you're part of our community, you'll know if you're part of this
You were
tribe.
Joneses. If
Right.
you know you were Joneses. 'Cause we the
Yes.
Joneses. There's a lot of us.
Yeah. So we all, we're around. So we're all just trying to find our tribe at the moment. And so when I say our community, our people, you guys are who I'm speaking of. Not just black and brown people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want it to be like we're on some old nobody can't, because this shit involves everybody. I don't think that trauma and all of this shit is it only attacks color. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I
No,
think
it's
it's
human.
yeah,
It's
it's human. It's like, and it's everybody should be included in the conversation. Whoever you are, theys, thems, hers, his, everybody's.
All y'all.
Yeah. So, yeah. So this topic, I guess I should let Tracy lead off with this because I don't think this is a good topic for me to probably be the forefront on.
Well, our topic is about sexual assault because that seems to be a theme in 24, which is a good thing and a bad thing.
Oh yeah, I was
because
about to say what?
it's a good thing because it's been there.
Yeah.
It's a bad thing because you're gonna find out how long it's been there.
Yeah.
People are like, oh my God, somebody else talking about sexual assault. Baby, go ask your grandmama.
Mm.
Go ask your auntie. Go
Mm.
ask. Shit. I forgot I could look up the statistics, but the statistics are wild. Like how many females are sexually assaulted by age 21.
Damn. Yeah, that's crazy. Cause I was oh, are you typing? I can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, maybe I should do that. I'll do the research part, so we don't kill the ears, the listener experience, because you don't hear it, but I hear it, and it's weird.
I'm like,
Yeah, you're like going. I was like, you typing? You're like, mm-hmm. But keep going. I'll look
one
it
out
up.
of every 6
Oh,
females.
you got it already.
One out of every 6 women will be sexually assaulted in her lifetime.
That is wild. That like
Ages
that
12 and older.
that's fucked up. You know why that's so fucked up? Because, shit, within, what year is it? 24? I would say within the last 10 years, yeah. So between the time I was, because there was a big point in time where I was like just single. So between 2014 and right before I got married or whatever, just the amount of women that I would meet in passing, dating, whatever you want to call it, that were sexually assaulted was wild. Like, it was literally, like you said, like 1 out of every 6 or something. So,
Yep.
and if I'm,
6.
and I was passing through a lot of women at this point in time. Not that that's anything to brag about, but that should just let you know. Don't laugh, Tracy. You're making it worse. That should let you know.
You were friendly. You were
Yeah, I
friendly.
was,
It's okay.
but I was safe and friendly. But anyway, the amount of women that you would at that point, it was like almost every other woman I would run into. Like, if the conversation got deep enough, like that would be like, they would tell you something. You're like, hold up. It catch you off guard too. You're like, hold up, what? And then now you're sitting
and
there.
they casually drop it because that's
Yeah.
how common it is in the person's life. They're like, you know that, yeah. It's not like, fall out and be like, oh my God, this one time. And
Right.
It's not even that. It's just like, yeah, one time I got jumped. Yeah, one time I got fired. Yeah,
Right.
this one time I got raped.
Yeah, you're like, hold up, what?
Oh, you can't even say rape. You gotta say R worded
Yeah.
or graped.
Yeah, or yeah, it's just it's wild. And so one of, I guess, the main conversations, because the reason that I said Tracy should lead it in is, the first part of this is about men speaking out against it, right? And I was saying to her, like, I don't really there's no real way for me to introduce this as a topic without it seeming weird, because it's like, yeah, we all agree that men should speak out against it, right? Because it's not right. Men that don't do it, like, because it's like weird. The men that do, you know what I'm saying? But the men that are against it should speak out against it. But how do you speak out against it without seeming like you're quote unquote pandering, right? Because that's what people would say. If men speak out against it, even if somebody believes, even if the guy's true, there'll be people that don't believe it and think that this person is just out for clout or something. Like, he don't really mean it. He just saying that trying to get some pussy. You know, it's like, and trying to get pussy off of the fucking, that's wild. Um, but you know what I'm saying? It's like people would look at it that way. So what say you? How do you think, how would you be able to tell if a man is true about his speaking out against it?
His character, because what was that? This you, this you shit on Twitter.
Oh,
It was
yo,
people
that
talking
shit is
Either
crazy.
way, motherfucker, like, oh well, how you gonna say somebody got raped just because she said, she might have said chicks lie and whatever, and somebody like 5 minutes later was like, yo, brother, it's you.
Yeah.
And you got like a CVS receipt list of sexual assault, attempted sexual assault. Like, what's going on? So of course you're gonna be out here like, but devil's advocate. Why do you need a devil's
Right. You
advocate when
don't.
you're looking for the devil? You're looking for the devil. Why do we need an
Mm.
advocate? Oh, you're on his team apparently.
Yeah. And that's the crazy, because it's always somebody being like, oh, but what? It's like there's no but. Like if somebody feels like they were, and this goes back to people's feelings, right? It's like if somebody feels like they've been treated a certain way, it should be taken seriously. It shouldn't be looked at as, oh, well, what did that? You know what I'm saying? This is not a you got to hear both sides moment. In my opinion, you don't. And like I said, just how common it is, it's like it just fucks me up to think that, you know what I'm saying, somebody could be doing that thinking that it's okay, and you wouldn't even, you know what I'm saying, like people don't even know.
We're so busy trying to stop the conversation about challenging people who are word people and SA people. We're so busy trying to challenge the validity of the conversation that we're totally overlooking the fact that it is something that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, it is. And it's
Which
like,
is how it keeps going.
Yeah.
It just keeps going.
I mean, it's one of those things that, because I showed you that, well, I think we both bounced that article around where it was the people trying to make pedophilia a thing or something, like they're trying to normalize it, I guess. It is
They're
like,
trying to make it a sexual orientation.
right. And it's like, it's so weird to think that there are people who brains are wired this way, which is kind of fucked up, right? Because it's not time for a dark humor joke, but it is. It's like, think about how sick a motherfucker had to be for there to be a law that there's an age of consent. You see what I'm saying? Like a motherfucker had to say, you know what? This is the cutoff line. Nobody under this age can say that they're comfortable with doing something with you. But anybody is like, who was the sick motherfucker that crossed the line?
And what about the people who still fight against it?
That's fucked
and
up.
the people that use it, but you can't really say it was a essay though, because in Mississippi the age of consent is 15.
Right.
Oh yeah, because what's on the books is right. Like benefits of a human.
They still
all that.
think it's
like,
cool to hang niggas in
all that.
Mississippi.
If
So
you write it down, it makes the facts. It's good. Like that's weird. That's not even like a right. That's not even like a right debate over it. But there's people that'll point at the intricacies.
mhm.
But the age of consent is, but if you, that's only in this country, and I've seen all this. Oh, that's only in this country, because you go to other countries, a girl can get married at 12.
Right.
What did you just say? A girl
Yeah.
can get married. You mean a man is able to marry a 12-year-old girl?
Right. And is that
Is she a minor any other time? But now all of a sudden she can get married. Like she said, oh yeah, I want to marry him.
Yeah, no, that's weird. It's just weird all the way around, to where as though people feel like that women are property, right? Like, because in some cultures that's like a thing, to where as though the father will marry off the daughter, and like it's this man's responsibility to take care of her, and she has to do whatever he says because it's under his roof, and blah blah blah, all of that. What's that, patriarchy or some shit?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that type of shit. It's like, that's fucked up too. Because like, how do you, I guess for some people though, marriage isn't about love. And for the most part, like, I think love is like a tiny, well, not a tiny, it's not half, but it's close to half of marriage. Because it's like, there's so many other things that outweigh spending the rest of your life with somebody, that you kind of, love doesn't really say, it doesn't trump all. Because this person could be a fucked up person.
It's a recent concept.
Right.
It was created. It was a marketing campaign, actually.
That's true. To sell diamonds and shit, right?
The De Beers, yeah.
Yeah, they fucking got us, man. But here's the thing: the arranged marriages though are like a common thing, but we were saying that there's SA attached to that too, right?
Yeah.
Because if the father, or in a sense, in poorer countries, you have to give what is that thing that they have to give?
You usually give a dowry.
Yeah, that's
So
what it's
you're
called.
looking for somebody, some man of means. Like the whole concept was there's two sides of it. You're trying to give your daughter to a man who can keep her alive, who
Yeah,
can allow her to survive. So he must have some means. You would hope that she had some type of respect and consideration, and he wanted to treat her
yeah, but that ain't
some
got nothing to
type of
do with
way.
it.
That has nothing to do with it.
Right,
There's also in these cultures, you could, if you had to marry your daughter off, you're gonna find the best person you possibly could
right. Based on what
with
they can
means.
do for her, not how they're going to treat her. Right.
With, no, you would look. This is we'll say currently. You're gonna
Okay.
find the best man with means to support her, and who would treat her as well as she deserves to be treated. So once she's married, now she becomes his property.
Right.
What you assumed was gonna be her life doesn't apply.
Ah, I see what you're saying now. Okay. I
So
was
now
jumping
that's
the
her
gun.
husband. He's over here. Now that's her her owner, her master, her whatever you want to call it.
It's fucked
So
up,
you
man.
still can't even intervene in the quality of life of your daughter because now she's been transferred off in the care of this person.
Yeah.
So even if it sounded like it was a noble gesture, there's no guaranteeing it will be. But that goes back to the individual men and what type of man that is.
Right. Because what type of person thinks that it's okay to, I guess, own a human, or what is it? I don't even know the proper terminology for it, but
Well, abuse a human. That's your wife. The baby. The videos in India. There's videos in India, and there's like East Asian countries. There was a video of the girl doing the cake, and he fed her cake. I think she went to feed him cake, and maybe she like pushed in his face a little bit,
oh yeah. He
and
fucking whooped
he
her
like beat her
ass.
down.
Yep. That was crazy.
Beat her down. There's videos where something happened during like it was like during the wedding ceremony, and she didn't something she blinked, she coughed, I don't know what the fuck happened, and he just like backhanded her in front
Damn.
of everybody, and then just like kicking her. And this is your wedding with his family, your family, and everybody watching you.
Damn. I guess he letting it be known from gate. And I dare one of y'all step up. I mean, that's not funny.
But what did she just do though? It's not
right.
even like
Yeah, it's whatever she did wasn't it
what the
wasn't
fuck did she
warranted.
just do?
Right. Like damn, cause she sneezed. Like what the
if that's
fuck?
your level of rage, it's like,
Right. What the hell are you going through in life to where as though that is what? Buddy.
cool with you. Like you good, like jumping on her and stomping her down. Fuck the wedding, fuck the families in front of him, the witnesses. It's just the fact, like, why is that your reaction
That's
to being
crazy.
annoyed? To being annoyed.
That's crazy.
And there was a documentary. It was a report about men who would take their kids, their daughters, to a marriage arranger. This is a Muslim country.
Mm.
The Muslim arranger is here to find a husband for your daughter. Of course, the daughters are youngish. The men are, of course, older because who has wealth? Older men.
Right.
So it's a matchmaker. So again, like you have to find a husband for your daughter. This is 2024. I'm gonna go to
This is crazy.
I'm gonna go to the Hinge office, and they got guys for girls who need girls, and this is what we're gonna do. And you think it's like a legitimate business situation, satisfying a need that you have. They would marry the girls. The father would leave. You have a marriage certificate by whomever is supposed to do it in the
Right.
Muslim country.
Right.
There's hotels, there's like quick stay hotels in the
Yeah,
area.
yeah. I did see that document. That shit was wild.
Take the daughters to the quick stay hotel.
Yeah.
Either she is okay with it because she understands that's part of being a wife, or she don't want any of this, and you're gonna do what you're going to do.
Right.
Once you've done that, the girl wake up and he gone.
Yep. And then 9 times out of 10, if it gets found out, then she's like
She
outcasted.
can't go home.
Right. She can't go home. She can never remarry. It's like
You go back to the office, he act like he don't know who the hell you are.
yeah. It's like, yeah, that's fucked up.
And now
yeah,
you become a street person. And
yeah,
then what, like, in a country that's that violent against women, how long will you last?
exactly. You don't have, and it's fucked up because 9 times out of 10 is they get set up on it. Like they're not trying to be that person, but it's like
The
nah.
fathers might be
yeah,
set up also. Like if
because
you,
of the
you from some village
it's
out
money.
wherever, you don't know that they running game on you.
Nope.
They don't know that they're gonna take your daughter and use her as like a quick prostitute.
Right.
So I don't believe the majority of the fathers would know.
But if they're poor enough and they are like blinded by the money and don't even care, like, because you would think if they actually care for their daughter, they would do some sort of due diligence, even to have the little bit of care that they have the best intentions, not just all right, yeah, sure, if you say so, like, because that's wild to just.
$50.
That's crazy, yo. That's
And
sad.
then this is 2024. Yeah, yeah. So we over here, you only got one in six chance of getting raped out here in these streets. But other countries is it's a mess.
It's like based on hours, not even fucking people at that point. It's like it's based on this many hours. It's just your number might get called, and it's fucked up.
That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this shit is just, and I don't know if that's something that could be tied to mental health, though. I mean, it has to be, right? Or is it just like some people are wired that way? Oh, conditioning. So the shit is like passed down, basically.
So you don't have adult feelings. You don't have to manage your feelings because you're a male, and you're still an obnoxious 3-year-old having tantrums, swinging, fighting, kicking because you didn't get your way. Which is that's a culture thing. Like even when I was in school, the teacher would ask, "Who knows what 4 + 4 is?" Several people raised their hand. The boys would yell out the answer, and she would let them rock with it and continue on the class. I started yelling out the answer. I got in trouble.
Right. Be a lady. Respect yourself.
Why are you yelling? Wait for your turn. Wait
Yeah,
till
I know.
call
That's what
on
I'm
you.
saying. None of that shit makes sense, though. Like, all right, it's okay for them to do it. It's a problem when I do
I know
it.
the answer too, bitch. Like,
Right.
acknowledge me. Like,
But I see what you're saying. I get the point. So, like, since day one, boys have been told that they can basically do what they want.
make space. Make space. Oh, he's a boy. Boys will be boys.
Right.
Oh, you know how men are.
Yeah, that
But what
shit's
do you
crazy.
expect? Men do. Da, 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 da. It's like, no, not all of them do. No. All men cheat. No, they don't.
Yeah, nah. That shit is what like is poisoning the community anyway, because people just feel like they just instead of addressing certain shit, they just roll with it, and that's the bigger issue, right? Because it's like
Feeding the monster. Yeah,
Right.
feed the monster.
because like for most people, like, and I know that they say that that's also a scare with some men who don't want to date women with young girls because at any given time, this young girl, if she doesn't like this guy for whatever reason, she can say that he did X, Y, and Z. Now, if the mother believes her or not, that's a whole nother conversation. But just the fact that somebody can throw that, they can use that as a dart and know that nobody, what I'm saying? Like, that's going to taint your credibility as a man. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like nobody's going to want you around. It's like they kind of outcast you. So with that part, is like people have to really start using some sort of, go back to this logic, right? Like if
That's mental illness too, though.
Right.
I just what Tasha K has a wonderful show. This girl came out with a story about her father and her brothers SAing her all her life.
Damn.
She came on with her story. One guy, then Tasha K interviewed her, and she's got her story. And if you listen close enough, her story doesn't have necessarily the details where they should be. She's telling a story, but when you unpack her story, the details aren't adding up. So her father came on, and the father said the mother was giving it away too much, and got a baby by homegirl, which is good. What you say, pay attention to who you dating. So she's a nut, and wants child support from him or something from him, where she coached that little girl to say the father did something.
Wow.
Once the cops got involved, she got scared, and then she said that her mom beat her and made her say that.
What?
So this grown girl now has realized that she gets attention and can manipulate people. The father said she accuses everybody, people at school, teachers, next door neighbor, and she'll get angry about something, and that's her retaliation.
So that's her basically. That's her mo.
That's her MO since she was a kid.
Wow.
It's been against the father, but he said anybody, the police, and they said you call the police have to come, they have to investigate it. But when the crew comes, they're so used to her with the story that they're like, okay, what happened and what happened and what happened, and they gotta like process it. He's been arrested like several times,
What?
but everything's been dropped. And the last time, her daughter said, my mommy threw grits on grandpa.
Whoa.
But she said something like they were fighting and she was defending herself and she threw hot grits. Now, first of all, how the fuck do you just randomly have hot grits on the oven? Like that would have right there. That's
Word.
weird. That right there, that's weird. But the little girl was like, no, my mommy was fighting my grandpa, and she got arrested.
Mm.
So otherwise, you have no witnesses, and she'd be like, yeah, this person, da 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 da. But because it's accusation, CPS has to come, the cops have to come, you
Right.
got to go to
Right.
court, you got to get arrested. But everything was dropped against him. So she had her back a second time, and she was like, "Yeah, but what about the conversation with? Oh yeah, well that happened because, but well I thought you said you was 15. Well yeah, because but what? No, wasn't that when you was 9? Well you gotta realize trauma victims have a problem with memory and da, 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 da. But you
Oh, she
grown
got the
now."
whole shtick down pack. Like,
And Tasha got crazy people in her family, so if you got somebody at talking circles, you notice it when people do it. So
yep.
Tasha started picking her apart and letting her talk whatever. And I don't have to be here, which is another trick. Once they get caught, when they get cornered,
Yeah.
they lash out and they leave or cry
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. That's
to get a reaction. So
insane.
it's not date women with kids.
Right.
Which
But
I,
watch who
I
you
have
have
several
kids
reasons
with,
for
though.
not dating women with kids. I have several reasons for not dating people with kids in general.
Right.
But if the girl would be doing that as a child, it comes from the mother.
Yeah. Yeah. Because but that's what I'm saying. Like, there are instances though where the mom doesn't believe. Right. Like, you heard the story about everybody knows DL Hughley and his daughter. That shit broke my heart when I heard that shit. And like, for him to just like casually talk about it, it's just
Because
like,
it was somebody he liked. I didn't want to believe it because it was somebody I liked.
right. Like,
I didn't want to believe that about them.
nah, man, you gotta see. That's where it's like, you got, even though
Where
you
you
don't want to
stand.
believe it, you still have to do something. You gotta put a barrier up somewhere to be like, all right, let me figure this out. Because if this is true, now I really have to dissociate. But until I'm done doing what I got to do, yeah, we got to part ways. Because, buddy, this ain't cool. Like, I like you, but if you did this, I might have
And
to
what would
try
make
to
your
not
daughter
kill
just
you.
be like, yeah,
Right.
Tuesday, March 5th, yeah, such and such did such and such.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why is that a random thought that she decided to throw out there today?
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. It has always bothered me because, like I said, the amount of women that I've encountered and had these conversations with just is wild to me. To where as though it makes you look at some of the men that you hang around with differently, or
need
not
to.
that I think everybody's like that, but it's like,
Everybody, I heard dudes told me every group got one,
right.
and you know who he is.
Everybody, that's what I was gonna say. Everybody, like, even the last office I was in, there was a nigga that he gave me those vibes. Like, that's the type of dude you don't want to go hang out with. He's, he be doing too much. And this is the reason that I don't roll with large groups of dudes anyway. First of all, I don't like hanging out with niggas like that because motherfuckers is just, everybody wired a little differently. So you don't know what somebody gonna do. And I don't want to be responsible. But I also don't like being around women with certain dudes because some of them niggas be doing too much. And then it's like, now you gotta fight this
Now you're an
nigga.
accomplice.
Yeah, or you're an accomplice. So it's like, nah, separate yourself. But there's always that known creep nigga. Like, everybody knows this motherfucker's a creep. Watch him just don't leave him. Don't leave nothing around him. Like,
Don't let kids in the room with cousin Charlie.
right?
Just don't let your daughter in the room with. Well,
Yeah,
why cousin Charlie here?
Uncle Touchy and shit. Like, what's up with this? Like, he should not
Why
be
is he
able to come to
here?
any funk. Right, right. Motherfuckers got to start outcasting niggas. Like, if motherfuckers do that shit, Joe, separate them. Especially if you have hardcore evidence. There should be no, well, I don't
whole
know.
family whispering about one person.
Nah, because that's the only way that we can really kind of start eradicating it from the community. I don't know if we'll ever get rid of it because people are just so fucking sick and twisted that I be like losing hope for people sometimes. Like to think about trying to save the world is like super depressing because it's like that's part of the reason I didn't have any more kids because I'm like, first of all,
Man, listen.
the motherfuckers is expensive, right? But deeper than that, even if I had the money, like it's just the world is just so fucked up. And when you
Trying
look
to
at
keep
it,
them safe, trying
right?
to keep them clothed and housed.
Yeah, and all, but just the whole safety aspect of it, right? Because everything else is secondary, or it's shit that you can control. The safety of the outside world you really can't control. Like to deal with the parental paranoia of every day as your kids get older, sometimes you got to send them to school by themselves. I remember my daughter called me one time and like she was like on her way to high school. I think she was like a freshman or something. Some dude was like following her in the car and shit. That shit freaked me the fuck out. To where as though like, I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Because if something happens now, I'm jumping out the window somehow, some way. So it's just that type of paranoia, and then like thinking of having to do it again, and then like the way the world is advancing with all this technology and shit, like that shit scared me. So I was like, nah, I can't do this. I was like, I have to be smart because either that or if I have more kids, I'm gonna probably have a fucking heart attack because I'm gonna be so fucking paranoid every time each one of them leaves the house. That's not good. And I don't think there's enough medicine on the planet to fucking calm down parental paranoia.
It's parental paranoia, and when it comes down to essaying, there's a lot that men don't know. And as a father, you thought your heart was broken over DL. I can tell you, there's a lot that you will never know
Oh, I'm sure.
because you knowing would
Yeah.
put you in jail.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
father's friend said some sideways shit to me. I was about 13 years old, and he had been in our house. My dad didn't let anyone in his house. You don't let random people hang out with your wife and your kids and your
Right.
things in your house. So this is somebody I was I was young enough to be told to go back to sleep. I would
Damn.
wake up ear hustling, and one of his friends would give me silver dollars. Another one would ask me about big words and was I reading. It was about five of them. This was the son of one of them that came, but not all the time. But I'm 13, so now even that you are aware of how old I am.
Right.
Pulled over. I was about three. I was so young where I was a few blocks away from my block, and I knew I was too far.
Damn.
And he pulled over. Hey, what are you doing right now? I was like, nothing. And I started, I'm about to go home. I was just with my friend here. I'm running my bullshit. My friend at the store. I'm just about to go home because this is how young I am. I need to get back on my block. He said, oh, well, are you hungry? And he talked to me, but I stepped into the street, but didn't go to the car.
Mm.
And I was on his passenger side talking through the window.
Right.
And something about it. He was like, no, he said, aren't you Jesse's daughter? And I was like, yeah. He was like, do you remember me? And I was like, yeah. And I was on the curb. I took a step into the street between the cars, and then something made me stop. And I was like, he said, aren't you Jesse's daughter? Do you remember me? And I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, I'm about to go home. I was just walking to the store with my friend and something. And he was like, oh, well, are you hungry? And I was like, why would he ask me if I'm hungry?
Right.
You want to get something to eat? And I was like, no, I'm not hungry. He was like, do you suck dick? I'll pay you.
Whoa.
And I was like, dick? I'm so
Holy
young because
shit.
we didn't have that language in my house. So I didn't know what he said.
Right.
I was like, suck dick. I'll pay you. And I was so fucking confused. I didn't know what he said, but I know I didn't like what the fuck he said. So I had to have it. I used to spit when I was a kid, competing. So I sucked every bit of fucking phlegm out my goddamn skull, and I shot a loogie that shot him right the fuck in his face.
God
And I took
damn.
off, and I took off running. I took off running.
Holy shit, that was
And
heavy.
I felt crazy. I felt crazy because I was like, he did something. He said something.
Right.
Me,
It triggered
I'm
something in you.
I'm Jesse's daughter. Nobody does anything to me. Why? Because
Mm.
I'm Jesse's daughter. Like back in the day, you don't. Not even that's now. You don't fuck with certain people, kids, because that man gonna come see you.
Yeah.
So I wasn't used to anybody saying anything, doing anything besides being friendly, saying hello to me and my mother, or make it like fussing at me because I'm a kid or whatever. And I was like, he said something, he did something, but I didn't know what it was. And
Mm.
I was like, I tell my dad, I'm gonna tell my dad because he said something to me, and that's his friend. And but it was so much confusion.
Right.
Like, why is that your friend? But he made me feel some type of way. But
Right. Is
I
that
also
really a
can't really
friend?
pinpoint I can't pinpoint what he did to me. I just know I didn't like it. So I never told my father. When I got older, I realized had I told my father would have been in the fucking prison.
Yeah.
Because you sat at my fucking table as my child was a child
Yeah.
and you said what to her?
Yeah. It's like, so you've been you that nigga, you one of them. Like you've done something to somebody,
Eating
and
my food at my
yeah,
table?
like, and nah. Yeah, that's when you gotta start removing people. I mean, I've been keeping my circle very small for years. Like, once my cousin passed, I kind of just like, I still have the same friends that you speak to and you see every now and then, but I really don't be hanging out. Like, I really don't, because I don't know. I just when he passed, I just saw how people were moving,
Mm.
and it's just like it just didn't sit well with me. So instead of addressing and trying to make people be away, I just kind of separated myself. So like nowadays, like, anybody that I do associate with like that closely, I do watch them a little differently. And surprisingly, a lot of the people that I do keep company with, I would say, we have these conversations to where as though, because I'm one of those, like, I need to see where people's head is, right? I need to
Who the fuck
see.
are you exactly? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like, so I'll throw out random. That's why, hence the reason you ask people what their blood type is. Because then like, all right, does this motherfucker even care about their body? Does this motherfucker even care about, the type of shit that they ingest and that type of. So that's like one of those things to where as though you kind of start figuring out who people are. So if I can have like these conversations with them, at least I know I can trust them a smidge more than the next person, because the people who shy away from it or act too weird about it, those are the ones that you got to look at weird. And then the other ones that are too like into it are the ones that you're kind of like, all right, he's weird too. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's a fine line, and it lets you know the type of people you want to align yourself with. Because if I can't align myself with nice people, then I need to remove myself or
I
remove
hear
them.
stories. I'm like, well, who did that? This bitch gonna try to talk to my man, and I found out she did. I lent her $100 and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so your best friend just got weird like last month. Like tell me more,
Right.
sis. What's going on? And then you find out like these are the type of people you keep around you.
Yep.
If you listen to people talk about their friends, well, baby, you don't need no enemies.
No.
Cause who are these people? And then you see them being trash ass people, but yet you still occupy space with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's your turn to get what you're gonna get, and you're surprised.
Yeah.
And I think from what you said, I know a lot of guys. Most of my guy friends don't hang out with groups of guys. Now I'm wondering if more men used some type of consideration with who they were hanging out with, would there be less males around other males? Would men realize how many men you do really have to stop associating with?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's something you do the older you get, right? Because it's like once you start, appreciating your freedom, as they say, right? Like, you don't have to have been to jail or any of that to appreciate your freedom, but to understand that certain people will do shit that would put your life at risk. Like like not even intentionally, right? Like you could just be hanging out with a motherfucker and they just be into some other shit you don't know, they might have beef with somebody. You know what I'm saying? They might have they might be going through something one day. They might be under influence. It's just there's too many
You turn
variables.
your head, they sniffing cocaine and shit,
Right.
sitting next to you
It's
in
like
like
do that shit
a
in the
federal
bathroom like a
building.
normal person, you
Fuck
know?
is you doing? Like, ain't nothing gonna happen. Baby, let me tell I'm the type of person, if I don't get me in trouble, God help you if you get me in trouble.
Right. Like I
Cause
can
I'm
get in trouble,
weird.
right. I can get myself into some very, very deep trouble by myself. And it's like I don't need that, you know? And so yeah, I can't speak for every man, but I think the older I get, the more I can understand certain men groups and the men groups that I hang around in, because it's like there are, you know, you got to be around motherfuckers that hold themselves accountable, that will hold you accountable. So that way it makes you a better person. You can't be out here just running around with niggas who don't got their priorities in order, because then you ain't going to have your shit in order.
No.
You know, you're going to think it's still cool to hang out mad late and do all of this extra shit like every day of the week. Like it's all right if you know, go out and hang out every now and then.
You married, but you go out with your homeboys and they all married, but it's 5 of y'all, but 3 of them are still hoes.
Right. You know, it's
Go
like
ahead,
you
go
can't.
ahead, and let
Yeah.
somebody see you up in, because there's always extra bitches with the extra
Yep.
niggas, and now you oh, I was just talking to her, we were at
Yeah.
the bar, and my friend was talking to her. Why was any of y'all talking to females?
Yeah.
That sounds like too much.
Yeah.
Of course you would talk to females, but you know they're hoes, so now somebody's seeing you
Yep. Talking to the hoes, and now they
talking to the
got you on
hoes,
Instagram
and
talking about some.
now you wondering if you gonna be married or not.
Yeah. Like it's a real thing. That's the other thing too, is just having consideration for your significant other. That's like a big part of like watching the crowds that I stay around too, because I'm always like, all right, if I'm out with my wife, like I don't want to embarrass my wife, right? Because I know, like like I said, I'm the random conversation guy, so I know that I could start a random conversation that could probably go left, but it's not. That's never my intention. It's just this is how shit be
That's a skill.
sometimes.
It's a skill.
Yeah, it is. It's a fucked up skill I have too, because you be like trying to have and the conversation be real, and then all of a sudden somebody get triggered somewhere, and next thing you know, fucking screaming at the top of your lungs about some bullshit. And you're like, what the fuck was that about? Like, I don't know. Like, and then you just walk off like, and it's like, motherfuckers is like that shit is wild. But that's also a thing to where as though I realize if a motherfucker can't have a real conversation without like getting too emotional, that's another person I don't want to hang out with, because if you can't
another
control your
person.
emotions. Like, who knows? That we out and somebody bump into you, now you want to fight? Like, too old to be fighting, man. Like, shit, I got to watch out for my cholesterol and all that.
I'm really over here just having an opinion. I'm really just sitting here speaking normally,
Right.
having an opinion, or asking you more about what you're discussing, because people like to just throw out sentences and it just be right
Yep.
without being able to unpack it any type of way. So, okay, what makes you think that? Why would you feel that way? What, did you ever consider this? Well, that don't even matter. What I'm trying to say is
Right.
Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. That's all. Because the Bible, and then you throw in like the fucking wrench, the sink,
Oh,
the fucking
man.
dog,
Everything.
just all type of details that ain't got nothing to do with what the fuck you saying.
Nothing.
Everybody listening realize you sound crazy.
Yep.
And I like to have conversations like, let's unpack it.
Right.
Unpacking it, me and you, be like, well, Aunt, you ever think about this? You know what? That never crossed my mind, but I can see why somebody would feel
Right.
that way. Oh, okay. You know, now I'm confused. How do I feel? That's what adults do. That's
Right.
what people who are healthy with their their self esteem. You get more information, like you said, and
Mm-hmm.
you turn it around, look at it, decide whether you like it or not, and you fucking have new information whether you agree with it or not. The people who don't want nothing, or I ain't talking about like dumb shit. Man, I asked you what you was doing for you said your mother was turning like 70. Like y'all had plans for
Right.
man, I don't want to talk about that dumb shit.
Like, clearly something just happened between you and your mom. Tell me why you don't want to, like, go there. Don't just keep saying you don't want to talk about the dumb shit. All right,
Why
well,
is it dumb shit?
shit?
I'm asking about your life, nigga. Didn't you just say your parents about to have their like 50th wedding anniversary or some shit?
This is
Like,
why you
that's
can't
dumb
ask
shit.
people how they're doing. Because when they really tell you, like, are you prepared for it? Because if they say some wild shit like this, you're like, all right, damn. Now I done stepped in some shit. So now I'm actually invested in it. So yeah, tell me why is it dumb shit? Or else, all right, I'll walk off and not have this conversation with you anymore. Clearly you're bothered by something. Like, holy
Which is
fuck.
what a lot of people do. A lot of people, I'm good. Okay then. Apparently you're not, but all right then.
Yeah,
If
nah.
you say you good, No, shallow people, and they're to me that's all a group. Like you don't even know each other. You have no opinion over how you behave, how somebody else behaves. You
Right.
have no opinion on that. Like there's always a girl who's that girl. There's always a dude who's that dude. Like
Right.
y'all got creeps. We got the bitch that does too much.
Yeah. But I mean, there's
That brings
categories
us
to it
negative
too.
attention.
You got the fucking the bougie motherfuckers. You got the super ghetto motherfuckers. It's like there's sub genres
The get
to
over is a get over
that
nigga.
person.
Everybody
Yeah.
eating, but you never throw in. Everybody drinking,
Yeah.
but you don't know.
But you know where all the happening spots at. I know. I see you. I
Yeah,
guess we'll call that our get your shit off section. The rants. I mean, yeah. I just the older I get, the more it's just yeah. I think I retweeted that today too. Somebody tweeted it's like, what is something you dislike more the older you get? You were like people, and I was like, fucking right. It's like because people are annoying, like especially adults. Kids are cool because at least them. Like I see why people have mad kids because it's like when you get them at their purest and like you can have a conversation with a kid and they can learn something, it's dope. It's like it's just when these little motherfuckers grow into these asshole adults who out here just think everything should be their way, it's like fucked up because who the hell raised you?
It's other people's kids
Yeah.
as adults.
Yeah. It's
And
annoying.
yeah,
It's the bad
who
kids, the
raised you?
kids with
Who
the
raised you?
silver caps and shit.
What did I say earlier? The mother's mental health and behavior
Yep.
contributes the most on the child's mental health, development of mental illness, and dysfunction as they grow up. So we circled it all right back. We had a rant.
Yeah.
We still came back to mental health. Look at us.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Brand, bring it in, Tracy. Bring it in. Nice. Nice. I think that's a good way to kind of wrap up our first episode. What do you think? Think it was good. We had a great conversation.
It's always a great conversation.
It is. It is.
It's us.
It is. It's us, the Joneses. But no, I think that was dope. Hopefully we were able to really, because the goal of this is to, start real conversations. Create real dialogue and conversations around it, not hot takes and dumbass opinions to be controversial and to get your engagement off of, because that's what Twitter has turned into now. It's a fucking engagement farm. Since
Twitter's
niggas
like
found
the
out they could
fucking
get paid
front of
off
the
their little
project.
dumbass tweets, they be saying anything now.
Twitter's like the front of the project.
It is.
Motherfuckers sitting here talking about nothing,
is.
and y'all loud just to cackle the day away.
Yup. That is the
Pass the
perfect
time.
example of it. Niggas is outside yelling about nothing. And it's like, it's crazy because I be seeing people engage with certain shit, and I'm like, why would you engage with that? And then I'll be ready to tweet it, but then I'll be like, nah, see, I'll be contributing to the engagement. Like, nah, like, I like all the unhinged shit. Like, the shit that people don't take serious. Like, I'm part of trauma bonding Twitter and unhinged Twitter. Like, I'm somewhere around there. I don't really do the black Twitter too much because them niggas just be extra. But, like, they just like too black. Like, them niggas, they want to know what ship.
The black.
Exactly. They want to know what ship your fucking family came over on. You're like, what, nigga? I don't know. They're like, well, see, this is why you got to get into your enlightenment, brother. You need to know, are you ADOS or you FBA?
Reparation.
Right. Which side are you on? ADOS or FBA? Like, nigga, get the fuck out my way. I got to go to work. Like, shit.
Whichever one's paying, my nigga.
Exactly.
I'll find an angle.
Right.
Y'all giving out checks.
Yeah, exactly. Who's got what is your take on reparations? How much did niggas get? All right, look, he said 8 trillion. What's your take on it? Nigga, the highest bidder. Fuck out of here. Like, that shit be social media. I love it though.
America. It's America.
I'm trying to come up out here. Y'all talk about reparations. Like, nigga, get out the way. But no, listen. It's a mess, but I enjoy it. As fucked up as it sounds, like most people are like, if you don't like it, why do you? It's like, because it's fun. It's engaging. It's cool. Like, Twitter is still like, it has its little. I mean, it's losing its edge because you really can't say what you want to say like you used to, but it's still kind of fun. There's still some fun there, so I enjoy it. And it's also a place where I get to get my thoughts off. So, like, listen, I be outside on the Twitter streets though.
I'll be hiding behind my fucking avatar, living my life. Living my best Twitter life.
Wilding out in these streets. All right, so that's it. Thank you guys for joining us on our first episode. Hopefully you come back for more. because we got a lot more in stored. That was mad
Door is
cheesy,
always
but
open.
yeah.
Door is always open.
And like I said, hopefully we hope you contribute to the conversation. If you don't have nothing nice to say,
shut the fuck up forever.
and we're out.